Welcome! This is another video in my NIV Bible reading series. In this video I will be reading through Numbers 33. Numbers 33 is a summary of Israel's journey in the wilderness. And I think there's a little bit of Egypt, talk about Egypt in there as well. So it's a nice little compact summary that's thrown in there. I like that, it gives a little summary because we're almost at the end. Praise the Lord, almost got Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, and Numbers all recorded. The audio quality is kind of trash for many of the other ones, but work with me, you know what I'm saying? I got a new mic for this and stuff like that. From like 30 onward, it's gonna have a little bit better audio. Hopefully, because I got this little mic right there. See, it's gonna save me some time too, because I'm recording it directly into Audacity, and then I could just do the noise reduction, and then boom, you know what I'm saying? All right, let's get into it. NIV stands for New International Version. Yeah. So the heading in my student Bible is Stages in Israel's Journey. Here are the stages in the journey of the Israelites when they came out of Egypt by divisions under the leadership of Moses and Aaron. At the Lord's command, Moses recorded the stages in their journey. This is their journey by stages. The Israelites set out from Ramesses on the 15th day of the first month, the day after the Passover. They marched out defiantly, in full view of all the Egyptians, who were burying all their firstborn, whom the Lord had struck down among them, for the Lord had brought judgment on their gods. The Israelites left Ramesses and camped at Succoth. They left Succoth and camped at Etham on the edge of the desert. They left Etham, turned back to Pi-hahiroth, to the east of Baal-zephon, and camped near Migdal. They left Pi-hahiroth, and it says, there's a little footnote there. It says, many manuscripts of the Masoretic text, Samaritan Pentateuch, and Vulgate, most manuscripts of the Masoretic text say left from before Hahiroth. It says, what? Hold on. It says they left from before Hahiroth. Whatever that means. Okay, and passed through the sea into the desert. And when they had traveled for 3 days in the desert of Etham, they camped at Marah. They left Marah and went to Elim, where there were 12 springs and 70 palm trees, and they camped there. They left Elim and camped by the Red Sea. And the Red Sea, there's a footnote for that. It's called the Sea the Sea of Reeds. So the Red Sea, Sea of Reeds. They left the Red Sea and camped in the desert of Zin. They left the desert of Sin. They left the desert of Sin and camped at Dophkah. They left Dophkah and camped at Alush. They left Alush and camped at Rephidim, where there was no water for the people to drink. They left Rephidim and camped in the desert of Sinai. They left the desert of Sinai and camped at Kibroth Hattava. They left Kibroth Hattava and camped at Hazeroth. They left Hazeroth and camped at Rithmah. They left Rithmah and camped at Rimmon Perez. They left Rimmon Perez and camped at Libnah. They left Libnah and camped at Rissah. They left Rissah and camped at Kehelatha. They left Kehelatha and camped at Mount Shepher. They left Mount Shepher and camped at Harada. They left Harada and camped at Makheloth. They left Makheloth and camped at Tahath. They left Tahath and camped at Terah. They left Terah and camped at Mithkah. They left Mithkah and camped at Hashmanah. They left Hashmanah and camped at Maseroth. They left Moseroth and camped at Bene Jaakan. They left Bene Jaakan and camped at Hor Haggidgad. I don't know. They left for Haggidgad and camped at Jotbatha. They left Jotbatha and camped at Abronah. They left Abronah and camped at Ezion Geber. They left Ezion Geber and camped at Kadesh and the desert of Zin. They left Kadesh and camped at Mount Hor on the border of Edom. At the Lord's command, Aaron the priest went up Mount Hor, where he died on the first day of the 5th month of the 40th year after the Israelites came out of Egypt. Aaron was 123 years old when he died on Mount Hor. The Canaanite king of Arad, who lived in the Negev of Canaan, heard that the Israelites were coming. They left Mount Hor and camped at Zalmanah. They left Zalmanah and camped at Punan. They left Punan and camped at Oboth. They left Oboth and camped by at Iye Abarim on the border of Moab. They left Iye Abarim and camped at Dibon Gad. They left Dibon Gad and camped at Alman Diblathaim. They left Alman Diblathaim and camped in the mountains of Abarim, near Nebo. They left the mountains of Abarim and camped on the plains of Moab by the Jordan across from Jericho. There on the plains of Moab they camped along the Jordan from Beth Shemoth to Abel Shittim. And then there's a little footnote here, 3350 through 56. So let me read the 33 through 56. 50 through 56, and then I'll come back and read the note, footnote, or a little insight there. On the plains of Moab by the Jordan, across from Jericho, the Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the Israelites and say to them, when you cross the Jordan into Canaan, drive out all the inhabitants of the land before you, destroy all their carved images and their cast idols, and demolish all their high places. Take possession of the land and settle in it, for I have given you the land to possess. Distribute the land by lot according to your clans. To a larger group give a larger inheritance, and to a smaller group a smaller one. Whatever falls to them by lot will be theirs. Distribute it according to your ancestral tribes. But if you do not drive out the inhabitants of the land, those you allow to remain will become barbs in your eyes and thorns in your sides. They will give you a trouble in the land where you will live, and then I will do to you what I plan to do to them." Okay, that's it. Let's go back and read the little footnote there. Just before the dramatic crossing into the Promised Land, God gave a clear statement of His priorities and a warning of what would happen if the Israelites failed to obey. His words would one day come back to haunt them, for they failed to fully carry out any of His orders. And that's facts. Eventually, Israel just fell because they started working. Think about it. I was reading Solomon, and Solomon, he was doing good for a long time. You know what I mean? But at the end of his life, lust destroyed him, and because he started putting the gods of his wives, which God told him not to have wives from the foreign nations, and he started putting up the gods of his wives, and creating altars and stuff like that, and worship and burning incense, the Lord's incense, to these demonic pagan gods. And that caused a whole bunch of trouble. And that's gonna be it. Friendly reminder to pray every day, worship the Lord every day, pray every day, read the Word every day, embrace yourself in this Word, and stuff like that. And I'm gone.